That's Rod Abernethy on WNCW. He's live here in Studio B with a tune from a new release called The Man I'm Supposed to Be. It's a new double disc. The first disc is songs with you singing on there and really great guitar work. And then the second disc really showcases the guitar work, all instrumentals.
That's right, and it was kind of hard to come up with that concept because we thought, well, let's do guitar instrumentals and vocals back and forth, back and forth. I had so many new tunes that I wanted to present, and my coach and manager, who also promoted the record, Wyatt Easterling, suggested, why don't we do a disc of vocal and a disc of guitar instrumentals, and just kind of keep them in their own thing. And it's worked out pretty well because people have been playing both instrumentals and both vocal tunes, and that's what I do when I play live. I'm going back and forth, and it's been good.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good. Sounds like Carrie's a pretty smart person when it comes to
Carrie is a smart person. We love her.
Cool. And this was recorded in Charlotte. So, and you're living in Winston-Salem now?
I'm actually in Raleigh.
Oh, you're in Raleigh. Okay.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I've been in Raleigh for about 2 centuries.
Okay.
I love it there.
Cool. And I know you have had some time teaching music composition, right?
Well, I taught a couple of semesters on how to write music for video games at School of the Arts.
Yeah.
And I was a composer. I still am, but I composed over 80 video games in the past 15 years and won a BAFTA for one of them. It's been a good career, and about 4 years ago, I decided if I want to get back to playing, I better get back to it. And it's an old love that I've always wanted to do, and I just said, okay, I'm going to do it. So that's the title of the album.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine writing for video games must involve a pretty different kind of part of the brain or creative process than writing songs like these. But maybe not?
You know, it's funny. It all comes from the same muse.
Does it? Okay.
But with this, I'm writing what I'm telling myself to write. A lot with video games, you're in any media like that, you're kind of given the assignment. And we need something that sounds like this or sounds like that, or sounds like that. But this, I'm doing what I want to do. And
Yeah.
it's a big release for me to be able to finally just, it's what I want to do.
They both come from the muse, but they sure turn out differently when
They do. It's
video
different
game
if you're in front of an orchestra at Skywalker Ranch. That's a different mindset, but it's still all me. It's still all the same muse. I mean, I love playing for people. That's why I'm playing again. I just want to play.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Talking with Rod Abernethy here on WNCW, working in various parts of the music industry, but then coming back around to doing what you really love, which is this work as a singer-songwriter. You sound sounds similar to Wyatt Easterling, who happens to be here as well.
I think I know Wyatt.
Wyatt
heard of that
Easterling,
guy.
who is also here this morning because they're both playing together at Isis Restaurant and Music Hall up in Asheville this evening. Wyatt, boy, talk about knowing your way around the music industry. What, an A&R. First, you started off as a kind of a folk singer way back in the day,
yes.
and then you're just about to get signed to a label, but they got bought out by Sony or what have you, and the deal fell through, right? And then that was kind of a happy accident or something.
Indeed, it was, yes.
That launched you down the road of being an A&R person, artist relations, got into publishing, working with Keith Urban, Paul Thorne, whom we love.
Oh, yes, yeah. And it was artisan repertoire. So I would, for the record label Atlantic Records, I would go out and find the artist and scout. I was the scout. And then I would help them find their repertoire or their songs. And oftentimes I would go in and produce, which I did with John Michael Montgomery, who was a country phenom. And then after I left Atlantic Records, I joined forces with Miles Copeland, who I didn't know a whole lot about. I knew the name, but he
I
was...
knew him.
Yeah, and Don Dixon, yeah. Our mutual pal, Don Dixon. Miles and I opened up a publishing company, and I was fortunate enough to find Keith Urban and brought him into the management company that Miles had with that publishing company, and then Paul Thorne, who was, I truly believe, is an American treasure. He is such a unique artist and writer, and just an overall nice guy, too. So. Yeah,
Cool.
it's been a fun ride, but I'm so glad to get back to my first love, which was performing and singing and writing and doing my own songs instead of someone else's in the studio, which I still do. I love producing, but I do more of my own these days.
Okay, yeah. So you come back around to doing your own stuff, like perhaps this song right here.
Yeah,
What you
indeed
got?
I will. And I too, I have a new CD. It's called The Binding Rod. It did quite well with folk radio, and on that CD, I've got a song that I got this idea for this song. It's An American Dream is the title. Probably American Dream 6066 that have been written out there. But this one I got the idea when I saw how a few years back our government opened up the southern borders to anyone who was under 18 years of age. They could come in and get across the border. We would anchor them in. And I had concern for that because I knew that a lot of these young folks would be using coyotes to get here, and thought about my own son and what it would mean to me to have him here in this great country of ours, and this song came out of it.